Every single night, a war for your brain and body is fought on a microscopic level. It's a silent, invisible conflict waged in the deepest parts of your cells, and the shocking truth is, you might be losing. Have you ever woken up after a rough night, looked in the mirror, and felt like you've aged a decade? That exhaustion, the brain fog, the dullness in your skin, it isn't just in your head. It's a reflection of a biological reality. What if I told you that this nightly battle is the single most important, and most overlooked, factor in how quickly you age? We spend billions on creams and diets to turn back the clock, yet many of us neglect the most powerful anti-aging tool we have, and it's completely free. This isn't about just feeling tired. This is about a hidden biological process where a lack of sleep unleashes a cascade of destruction, rapidly aging your brain and body from the inside out. It's a process that corrodes your cells, frays your DNA, and clogs your brain with toxic waste. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on this cellular battlefield. We'll break down the three main enemies your body fights every night: oxidative stress, neurotoxic plaque, and genetic decay. We'll explore exactly how a lack of quality sleep gives these enemies the upper hand, speeding up the aging process in ways you can't imagine. But this isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. Because once you understand the fight, I'm going to arm you with a full arsenal of science-backed strategies. This is your playbook to not just win the nightly battle, but to turn the tide, reclaim your rest, and fundamentally slow down your biological clock. Your journey to a younger, more vibrant you doesn't start at the gym or in the kitchen, it starts tonight, in your bed. Section 1, the invisible war inside your cells. Before we can build our defense, we first have to understand the enemy. Aging isn't one single thing, it's a slow, steady accumulation of damage on a microscopic scale. Think of your body as a bustling city. All day long, this city is active, making energy, moving goods, and creating waste. When you sleep, the city shuts down for essential maintenance. The construction crews come out to repair the day's wear and tear, and the sanitation department works overtime to clear out all the garbage. But what happens when the maintenance crews don't show up? When the garbage trucks never arrive? The city starts to crumble. This is exactly what happens in your body when you don't get enough quality sleep. The damage isn't just cosmetic, it's systemic, and it starts with something called oxidative stress. Part A, oxidative stress, the body's internal rust. Let's start with an enemy that's literally a byproduct of being alive: oxidative stress. The name sounds complex, but the idea is simple. Think about a piece of metal left in the rain. Over time, it rusts. That rust is a form of oxidation. A similar process happens inside every one of your cells. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants in your cells, are constantly burning fuel to create energy. And just like a car's engine creates exhaust, this energy production creates a harmful byproduct: unstable molecules called free radicals. These free radicals are like tiny, hyperactive pinballs, bouncing around inside your cells and smashing into everything they touch. They damage cell membranes, proteins, and even your DNA. This is oxidative stress, the cellular equivalent of rust. Throughout the day, as you work, think, and move, free radical production is high, and the oxidative stress on your body builds up. Now, your body isn't defenseless. It has an army of antioxidants that patrol your cells, neutralizing these free radicals before they do too much harm. So, what does this have to do with sleep? Sleep is when your antioxidant army replenishes its forces and launches its main counterattack. During deep sleep, your body ramps up the production of antioxidants and focuses on repairing the damage from the day. When you cut your sleep short, you're telling your antioxidant army to stand down. You're robbing them of the crucial time they need to repair and regroup. The result is a disaster. Free radicals are left to run wild. Oxidative stress skyrockets. Research shows a clear bidirectional relationship. Sleep deprivation dramatically increases oxidative stress, and that elevated oxidative stress can, in turn, disrupt the very mechanisms that regulate sleep, creating a devastating cycle. While the exact molecular feedback loops are still being investigated, the connection is undeniable. Imagine your body is fighting a fire. Sleep is when the firefighters have full access to the building to douse the flames. A night of poor sleep is like telling those firefighters they only have 10 minutes to work. The fire is never truly put out. It continues to smolder, and the damage accumulates night after night. This cellular rust has real-world consequences. On your skin, it leads to the breakdown of collagen, causing wrinkles. Internally, it damages your organs and blood vessels. That feeling of being utterly drained after a sleepless night. That is the feeling of your body losing the war against oxidative stress. Part B, the glymphatic system. When the brain's trash piles up, if oxidative stress is the body's rust, our next enemy is the brain's toxic sludge. Every day, your brain's 86 billion neurons are firing away, consuming massive amounts of energy. This creates a lot of waste, including toxic proteins that can be incredibly dangerous if they stick around. Two of the most infamous are amyloid beta and tau, the same proteins that build up in the brains of patients with Alzheimer's disease. So, how does the brain clean itself? Scientists recently discovered the glymphatic system. Think of it as the brain's personal, high-powered dishwasher. Here's how it works. When you enter deep sleep, your brain cells actually shrink, which widens the space between them. This allows cerebrospinal fluid to be pumped through the brain, flushing out all the metabolic junk that built up during the day. This toxic sludge is then moved out of the brain and into the body's regular disposal system. Here's the terrifying catch: this cleanup system is most active during the deep, non-REM stages of sleep. During waking hours, its activity is slashed by about 95%. It's a maintenance system designed specifically for the night shift. When you skimp on sleep, you're cancelling the brain's cleaning service. Night after night, the toxic amyloid beta and tau proteins aren't cleared away efficiently. They start to build up, forming sticky plaques that clog the spaces between your neurons. This is the physical foundation of cognitive decline. It's why a bad night's sleep gives you brain fog and poor memory. Those are the short-term symptoms. The long-term consequences are much scarier. The link between poor sleep and diseases like Alzheimer's is a central area of scientific research. Studies suggest that even one night of sleep deprivation can lead to a measurable increase in amyloid beta in the brain, though the long-term impact of this single night effect in humans is still being studied. Now, imagine the effect of chronic poor sleep over decades. You are essentially creating the perfect conditions for neurodegeneration. Making matters worse, as we age, the glymphatic system can become less efficient on its own. If you add chronic poor sleep on top of that, you're crippling an already compromised system. Recent research in animal models has even shown that restoring this waste-clearing system can reverse some age-related effects, which just highlights how crucial this nightly cleanup is. Section 2, the ticking clock of your DNA. We've talked about cellular rust and toxic sludge. Now we have to face the third, and maybe most fundamental, enemy, genetic decay. This battle is fought at the core of your biological identity, your DNA. Part C, telomeres. The burning fuses of your chromosomes inside almost every cell are your chromosomes, the tightly coiled strands of DNA that hold your genetic blueprint. At the very end of each chromosome are tiny protective caps called telomeres. The best way to think about a telomere is like the little plastic tip on a shoelace. That tip, called an aglet, prevents the shoelace from fraying. Telomeres do the exact same thing for your DNA. Here's the thing, every time one of your cells divides, your telomeres get a little bit shorter. It's like a tiny piece of that protective cap gets snipped off. This shortening is considered a primary hallmark of aging. When telomeres get too short, the cell can no longer divide safely. Its length is, in a very real sense, a measure of your biological age. So where does sleep fit in? Studies have consistently shown that poor sleep is linked to faster telomere shortening. Short sleep duration, chronic insomnia, and sleep apnea are all significantly associated with having shorter telomeres for your age. And while other factors like stress and lifestyle also play a role, the link to sleep is significant. Your body has an enzyme, telomerase, that can help repair telomeres, but its activity is hampered by things like chronic stress and, you guessed it, lack of sleep. When you don't sleep enough, you aren't just waking up tired, you're literally accelerating the countdown clock on your cells. Part D, Cellular Senescence, the rise of the zombie cells. This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, what happens when all this damage adds up. When a cell's DNA is too damaged or its telomeres are too short, it enters a state of irreversible growth arrest to prevent itself from becoming cancerous. It doesn't die, it just stops dividing. It becomes a senescent cell, or what scientists call a zombie cell. These zombie cells are bad news. They hang around, refusing to die, and they secrete a cocktail of inflammatory proteins that damage the healthy cells around them. They're like a rotten apple in a barrel, spreading aging to their neighbors. This process creates chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body, a condition so tied to aging it's been nicknamed inflammaging. Inflammaging is a key driver of nearly every major age-related disease. And sleep, or the lack of it, is a primary regulator of this process. Sleep is a profoundly anti-inflammatory state. It's when your body dials down inflammation and focuses on repair. When you're sleep deprived, your body is flooded with inflammatory molecules. This chronic inflammation, combined with oxidative stress and DNA damage, dramatically increases the rate at which your cells turn into zombies. So poor sleep doesn't just create zombie cells, it creates the perfect inflammatory environment for them to thrive and spread their damage. The battlefield is clear. On one side are the forces of aging, oxidative stress, toxic protein buildup, and zombie cells. On the other side is your body's best defender, a good night's sleep. Every night, you decide which side wins. Okay, that was a lot of heavy science, and it might even sound a little scary. But knowledge is power. If you're finding this deep dive fascinating and you're ready to go from understanding the problem to actively solving it, take a second to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We release videos every week packed with practical, science-backed knowledge to help you take command of your health. It costs you nothing, but the information could be priceless. Your future self will thank you. Now, let's get to the good part, the battle plan. Section 3, the solution, your anti-aging sleep toolkit. Alright, we've looked the enemy in the face. We understand the cellular war that rages every night. Now, it's time to fight back. This isn't about one magic bullet. It's about building a fortress of habits to defend your body and brain. We're going to build your personal anti-aging sleep toolkit, broken down into 5 key pillars. Pillar 1, the Circadian Code, Master your internal clock. First things first, you have a master clock in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It runs your 24-hour circadian rhythm, which controls almost everything, especially your sleep-wake cycle. Aligning your life with this rhythm is the most important thing you can do. First, master the light. Light is the main signal that sets this clock. Your goal is twofold. Morning light, within the first hour of waking, get 20 to 30 minutes of bright, natural sunlight. Don't wear sunglasses. You want that full spectrum light to hit your retinas. This sends a powerful signal to your brain that says, the day has begun. Shut off melatonin and start the countdown for sleep in about 14 to 16 hours. This is non-negotiable. Evening light blackout. At night, you have to do the opposite and avoid light, especially blue light from screens and overhead LEDs. Blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime and hits the brakes on melatonin, the hormone you need to get sleepy. In the last 90 minutes before bed, create a dusk simulation. Dim the lights, use warm-toned lamps, and, this is crucial, put away all screens. Read a real book, listen to a podcast, talk to someone. Second, enforce a strict schedule. Your brain loves consistency. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Yes, even on weekends. When you sleep in, you give yourself social jet lag, which is why you feel so groggy on Monday morning. Consistency makes it easier to fall asleep and wake up refreshed. Third, time your fuel. Caffeine curfew. Caffeine blocks a chemical called adenosine, which builds up all day to make you feel sleepy. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours, so a 3 p.m. coffee is still working in your system at 9 p.m. The rule is simple, a strict caffeine curfew. No coffee or tea after 2 p.m., at the latest. Alcohol's deception. Alcohol might feel like it helps you sleep, but it wrecks your sleep quality, especially your REM sleep. Avoid it in the hours before bed. Meal timing. Avoid big meals within 3 hours of bedtime. Digestion is an active process that can interfere with sleep. Pillar 2, the sleep sanctuary. Engineer the perfect environment. Your bedroom should be a cave, a sanctuary for sleep and nothing else. Get cold. Your body's core temperature needs to drop to initiate sleep. You can help this process by making your bedroom cool. The optimal range is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or 16 to 18 Celsius. Go dark. Light is the enemy of melatonin. Your sleep sanctuary must be pitch black. Get blackout curtains, use a sleep mask, and cover every single tiny LED light in your room. Stay quiet. Unpredictable noise is disruptive. Earplugs are a simple fix. A white noise machine is also great for masking sudden sounds that can pull you out of deep sleep. Pillar 3, the wind down ritual. Prime your brain for rest. You can't go from 100 miles per hour to 0 the second your head hits the pillow. You need a buffer zone, a consistent 60 to 90 minute ritual that signals it's time to rest. The brain dump. A racing mind keeps a lot of us awake. The solution. Get those thoughts out of your head before you get into bed. Keep a journal and write down everything that's on your mind, worries, your to-do list, anything. Active relaxation. Relaxation is a skill. Try a practice that calms your nervous system, like 10 minutes of meditation or simple box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Gentle stretching also works wonders. The temperature paradox. This is a great biohack. Take a hot bath, or shower an hour or two before bed. When you get out, your body temperature will drop rapidly, sending a powerful time for sleep signal to your brain. Pillar 4, the daily habits, the all-day fight for a good night. Your quest for better sleep starts the moment you wake up. Move your body, but wisely. Regular exercise is fantastic for sleep, but timing is key. Intense workouts too close to bedtime can raise your body temperature and make it hard to wind down. Try to exercise in the morning or afternoon. Hydrate smart. Drink plenty of water during the day, but start to taper off your fluid intake in the 2 hours before bed to avoid a middle-of-the-night bathroom trip. Pillar 5, the mindset shift. Work with your biology. Finally, you have to change your relationship with sleep itself. Stop trying to sleep. Sleep is a natural process, not a performance. The more you try to force it, the more anxiety you create. If you're lying awake for more than 20 minutes, get up. Go to another dimly lit room and do something relaxing until you feel sleepy again, then return to bed. You have to break the mental link between your bed and the frustration of being awake. Nap strategically. A short nap of 20 to 30 minutes in the early afternoon can be great. But long naps or napping too late in the day can make it much harder to fall asleep at night. If you don't feel you need a nap, don't take one. Respect the U-shaped curve. More isn't always better. While sleeping less than 7 hours is bad, studies also show that consistently sleeping more than 9 hours is associated with poor health outcomes. For most adults, the anti-aging sweet spot is a consistent 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. We've journeyed to the front lines of the hidden war waged in our cells every night. We've seen how the forces of aging, cellular rust, toxic brain sludge, and a ticking genetic clock get a huge advantage when we neglect sleep. But we've also seen that we are not helpless. Sleep is not a passive state. It is an active, dynamic, and powerful process of defense and repair. It is your body's most potent weapon against aging. The toolkit you now have isn't a list of chores, it's an arsenal. Mastering your light exposure, engineering a sleep sanctuary, creating a wind-down ritual, these are radical acts of self-preservation. They are the daily decisions that determine whether you win or lose the war for your vitality. The battle for your health, your energy, and your longevity is won or lost in the 7 to 9 hours you spend in bed each night. The power to slow your aging clock isn't in an expensive cream, it's in your hands, tonight. You have the playbook. You know the enemy, and you have the weapons. So don't get overwhelmed. Just choose one. Pick one weapon from this toolkit, whether it's getting morning sun or making your room completely dark, and implement it tonight. That single choice is the first step on a journey to reclaim your nights, so you can conquer your days with the energy and vitality of a younger, healthier you. I'm curious to hear from you. Based on everything we've covered, what is the one change from our toolkit that you are going to commit to trying tonight? Let me know in the comments below. Sharing your goal is a great way to stay accountable. And if this video opened your eyes to the power of sleep, you won't want to miss our next one, where we break down the specific foods that can actually boost your deep sleep. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Sleep well, and fight on.